What's up, guys? JD here. So, video today, I want to talk about how to make commission sheets. This is a fun one, so strap in. I definitely suggest watching this a couple times. There's also a binder that I have with all of these instructions written out. So that one's nice. It has pictures. So I would definitely watch this a couple times, and then as you're practicing, make sure you're going through the binder step by step. So first thing we want to do, go to Owner Bill. I want to click this menu in the top right, and I want to go to Tableau, and then press log into Tableau. Now I'm doing Carlos's because Carlos is he has Just Energy and he has Dropship, so you'll be able to see both, what to do with both campaigns. So no matter who's watching this video, it's a little bit easier to do yourself. Go ahead and sign in. Once this loads here, most owners are going to have this in their favorites. But what I'm looking for is DD detail. Now sometimes instead of DD detail, they have um, instead of the actual, let's see, I have it here. They have this direct deposit ICD view saved. Click on that, and then you can find DD detail in there. So once I found it, I'm going to go ahead and save it. Click this download button. Super important here, you have to save it exactly like this. So you want to do cross tab. Make sure the second sheet is selected, CSV, download. And instead of opening it up from here, I got to click this little arrow, press show in Finder, right click it, and open with Excel. A little complicated, but you have to do it that way. Don't ask me why. So the very first thing that we want to do, I like to just make it a little bit bigger so I can see it a little bit easier. Very first thing we got to do is save this puppy. Save as, and I want to save it as CH for Carlos Hidalgo, and then I'll see the DD week is 7/2, so I'll save it 7/2. Now I've already done commissions for this week, so I'm going to save it as 7/3 because I don't want to overwrite my actual commission sheets that I made for this week. I want to save it in my desktop, so after I upload it to Google Drive, I can delete it. And then the file format I need is an Excel, so this Excel workbook at the top. Save that. After I save it, I want to make a copy of this data. So right-click this sheet down here, move or copy, press create a copy, okay. And then this is just going to be the raw data in case I need to access it again. So I'll name it raw, and then I'll name this one JD. So now I'm ready to start cleaning up this data. So before I get into this, I want to give you guys a couple quick lessons on Excel, the difference between shift and clicking and command and clicking. So let's just say, for example, I highlight this row and I hold shift and I click row 30. It's going to highlight every single row in between. Now, if I highlight this row and I hold command and click a different row, it'll kind of pinpoint select whatever row I click. So I can be a little bit more specific with the rows I want to select. Those two functions are things that I use very often in this. So you want to get comfortable with that. Shift, and this also works for cells. So if I hold command and click, it'll just highlight all of these different cells that I'm clicking, right? And if I click one cell, hold shift and click a different cell, it'll highlight everything in between. So this cell to this cell highlights everything in between. Practice that a little bit if you don't understand it, but it'll make your life way easier when it comes to cleaning up this data. So that's what we're going to do first. I'm going to delete the rows. So there's always going to be this grand total row here. Go ahead and delete that. And then sometimes any weird bonuses that we get, sometimes this one's like a Samsung market share bonus. It doesn't have a rep name. It's just a weird bonus. We can delete those. So click again. Here's my first instance of hold shift and click to select all of the rows and delete that. And then I'm going to delete the columns. Now I'm going to fly through this, but this is all written down so you can see exactly which rows you need to delete. And here's where I'm going to use that command shift function that I was just talking about. So I'm going to click column A. And then for the rest of this time, I'm holding command while I press all of these different rows. So command, I want to delete row A, column A, column B, column C, leave column D, leave column E, delete column F, leave G, delete column H, I, J, K, L, M, leave column N, leave O, leave P, leave Q, delete R, delete S, keep T, delete U, keep V, delete W, X, Y, Z, AA, AB, AC, leave AD, and then delete the rest. So let me make sure that I did that right before I delete these. Owner, okay, should be right. So right click and then press delete. Perfect. You'll know you did it right if you end on column J. Next thing I want to do, this is another function that I use quite often. So if you click inside this data, any cell that has data on it, hold Command and press A, it'll select all of the data. Press Format, Autofit column width, and it'll spread it out so it's a little bit easier to see. And then I'm going to add a column before campaign. So click on column B, right click, insert, and it'll give me a blank column. And then I'm going to rename these titles something a little bit cleaner. So rep name, leadership status, campaign, sales date, description. This one is churn tier, retail, store, customer name. Change no EC bonus to telemapper, loss reason, and then the last one is commission. Again, this is all written in the binder, but this should be how the rows look. So that's kind of the cleanup a little bit. Now the next thing I want to do, I want to fill in this leadership status. This is the third function that I'm going to teach you, or maybe the fourth, whatever, I lost track. Another function I'm going to teach you guys, make your life a little bit easier. So let's put Alan as entry level. So I want to type that. Now I can copy and paste 100 times, or there's a little, this bottom corner, you can see it's like a box. If I mouse over this bottom corner, click and drag, it'll copy entry level to all the cells that I drag to. So it makes my life a lot easy. Now, this is not perfect. There's some things you got to do. So for example, level 1, if I just put level 1 and then click and drag, watch what happens. It counts all the way because that's just how Excel does. I don't want that. So the way I want to avoid that, instead of doing level 1, I'll type level 1 and then put a period. And when I click and drag, it'll copy it exactly. So I'll do that really quick, fill this out, entry level, click and drag all of the entry level. Powell is level 1, so we'll stop here. And then level 1, click and drag. Entry level, click and drag. And then level 1, click and drag. Cool. So we got our leadership status filled out. Then I'm going to do my select all again. So click on the data, Command A, excuse me, to select all. I want to press View, freeze the top row. That way these column titles stay even if I scroll down. And go back to Home, click my little border option, do all borders. Just makes it look a little bit, it's a little bit easier to read. And then what I'm going to do from here is delete more useless information that we don't need and kind of relabel some things. So I'm going to click Format, excuse me, not Format, Sort Filter, Custom Sort, and I'm going to sort it by description first. So first of all, we can delete some of these, like these plan bonuses. We don't need that, so delete this row, these rows. Any unlimited extra or elite bonus, I just want to rename the description. I want to relabel it as extra bonus because we get pay the same for both. Click and drag all the way down. And then I'm going to copy this. Or I like Command C, a little bit easier. And then I want to paste this for the campaign, description, churn tier, and retail for all my extra bonuses. Now, depending on the manager, talk to your manager. Some people pay for BYD, some people don't. So if you're RAF, I know for a fact RAF pays for BYD, so leave these alone. Carlos doesn't, so we'll delete that. Delete these BYD rows. These, oops, cancel. Just Energy, the green Just Energy, we'll leave those. The green bonus, we delete these. SC waiver, Sam's Club waiver, we keep those. And then for these internets, I want to relabel them. So any internet that's 100 megabytes per second or more, I'm going to label it in INT 100 plus megabits per second. And then I can kind of click and drag that. Copy it for this last one. And then any internet that's below 100, I will relabel it to INT 3-75. So 3 to 75 megabits per second. And then I can select all of these, click on this top one, hold shift, click on the bottom one, and I can copy, and I just want to paste it for the campaign, description, churn tier, and retail again, kind of like the extra bonuses as well. If you don't really need to understand why we're doing that, just do it. And then the last thing I want to delete, I'll delete any of these next step bonuses. I'll also delete any square trade, any tablets, any wearables, or any weird bonuses at the bottom. So delete all those. So what I'm left with, and what you should have, if you're in dropship, you should only have new lines, be it from Sam's Club, Target, BJ's, wherever it is, and extra bonuses and internets. If you're in Just Energy, all you should have is these green and Sam's Club waivers. Cool. So now that we've cleaned up all of our data, the next thing that we want to do is we're going to relabel these telemapper loss reasons. So again, I'm going to do my little Command A trick, click on the data, Command A to select everything. I want to sort, custom sort by telemapper loss reason. Press OK. And I just want to rename these to make these a little bit easier. So again, this is all on the paper. It's going to be one of 4 options. Either it's going to say something like this, where it says location is unaccounted GPS gap. So I want to rename that to no GPS ping within 60 minutes. And then all of these are the same, so I'll click and drag. See, so much cleaner. Now you're going to see, again, one of 4. So they're all the same, so the GPS wasn't pinging. But sometimes it'll say no check-in on time with GPS. Again, all of this is listed in the binder, so it'll either be this, no check-in on time with GPS ping, no check out with GPS ping, or sometimes it says no TMP, which is no telemapper ping. That's where someone made a sale without checking into the store. So they didn't actually check in. In that case, I'll say no checking with GPS ping. But refer back to the binder, it has everything there. Now, this is pretty much all of the relabeling and changing of the data that's not commissions. So now I can kind of clean it up a little bit. Command A, format, and I'll redo this autofit column width. And it'll just make it a little prettier. Last thing I'll do in this telemapper loss reason, all of my telemapper loss reasons, including the commissions. So this is my shift click. Click on this first cell with the telemapper loss reason, and then click on the last commission with telemapper loss reason. Hold shift while you do it, and then just make it red text. Cool. So now we can kind of color code everything, make it look pretty. Command A, excuse me, select all. And I keep doing that. I don't want format. I want sort and filter, custom sort. And to change the colors, I'm going to sort it by 3 things. First, I'm going to sort it by campaign, then description, and then retail. This is why we relabeled everything first. So now it puts it in order exactly how I want it, which is really nice. All of my extra bonuses. Now, before I do this, I do the same colors every time. You don't have to use my colors. Choose your colors as long as they're consistent. So I'm going to select all of these extra bonuses here, and I will color the extra bonuses this light green right here. For any internets, I like making the internets go more colors, like a bright blue. And then for any SAMs, or excuse me, just energies, like the green energies, I'll make those a little bit darker green. And then for any Sam's Club waivers, I'll make those an even darker green because they get paid out a little bit less. Any Sam's Club mobilities, I make kind of a medium blue. Targets, I'll do like a light red, like a pinkish color. BJ's, I'll do like an orange because I don't really know what BJ's are. Costco, I do an orange. Um, any DTV stream or anything like that, I'll do like a weird off yellow color. It's just I do the same things every time. Upgrades are gray for sure, but choose your colors. I know Cynthia likes to do hers in pink and purple, so whatever works for you guys, just make it the same and make it consistent. So that's how we color code everything. And then the last thing I'm going to do before I start making people's actual commission sheets, Command A to highlight everything, sort and filter. We're going to adjust the commissions. So now I want to sort it by retail, keep this description the same, then do leadership status and rep name. Okay. And there's going to be a lot of clicking and dragging here. So just make sure that this is 10 for everything for the extra bonus. And then you're going to want to refer to the commission sheets to know exactly how much these are. I have these memorized, so I know 110 for entry-level internet, 110. And the telemapper penalty for internets is $20, so 90. So 110 minus 20 is 90. Level 1 is 130, 130. 130 minus 20 is 110, 130. And then the internet 3 to 75 payout is $50. Entry level just energy is going to be 55. There's a $20 telemapper penalty, so 35, 35, click and drag, and then 55 for the rest of these guys. And then the green waivers are 35, but there's also a $20 penalty, so 15, 35 minus $20, 15, and then 35, 35, 35. Sam's Club new lines, $50 each, minus $15 telemapper penalty. So 35 here. And then 50 for the rest of the entry level. And what I'm doing here is just looking at the campaign, Sam's Club mobility, the description, new line, and then their leadership status over here. So I can kind of know. Drag this down, and then level 1 is $60. 45, 60. So I've adjusted the commissions. The last thing I got to do, let's go ahead and select all, sort and filter. And I want to delete all 3 of these except for the last name or rep name. So go ahead and delete. So it'll sort it by the rep. And now I can make extra tabs and start copying and pasting all of these commissions into their own specific tab. Now, before I make this first tab, if I press this plus button, it's going to make a tab directly to the right of whatever tab I'm currently on. I don't want a tab in between JD and my raw data. I want to the right of the raw data. So click on this raw tab first, press the plus, and then it'll make a tab here. I can go back, and what I want to do is copy this top row with all of the labels, column labels, copy, and then paste. And you want to paste it, make as many sheets as you're going to need for however many reps you have. So I think Carlos has like 14 right now, or 13, something like that. So I'll just make, I don't remember exactly how many he has, so I'm going to make 15. And if I make too many, then that's fine. So once I've copied and pasted, now I can go into the data here. And here's where shift click becomes pretty useful. Click on the first name and then hold shift and click on the last commission and it'll highlight everything in between. Copy. Let's go to our first sheet here. Paste, Command V. And then I can autofit column width. It'll show me all the information a little bit. And I want to press this cell right beneath the last commission, press auto sum, then press enter, and it'll count it up for me. And to the right of it, I'll just type total. And then I want to rename this tab. to the rep's initials. So AVG, oops, VG. And I'll do the same thing for every single rep. So Amy will copy these, copy, paste. Let's do Command All, format, column width, just spread it, make it look a little bit nicer. Auto sum, enter, total, rename AL, and so on and so forth. Ashley, copy, paste, select all, format, click this cell underneath the last commission, auto sum, enter, total, AM. So you guys can see the rest of it is just copying and pasting for all the reps. And once you're done, you want to upload this to Google Drive underneath the commissions. Your manager will kind of show you where that is, auto sum. Now, as you see, I've done this quite a few times, so I can do it pretty quickly. Watch this, like I said earlier, watch this video through a couple times so you have a good idea, and then don't rush it because this is people's money. We want to make sure that we do it correctly. So if you have to reference this video back, look through all the instructions. Again, I have step-by-step printed out for you. So I'll stop with Evelyn just to kind of show you guys what it looks like a little bit. Format, auto fit, column width, auto sum, and then ESV. You do that for the rest of the reps, and then you're good to go. Once you're done with all of that, just don't forget File, Save, and then you can upload it to Google Drive. So hopefully that helps you guys. Please let us know if you have any questions. And by the end of this, you guys are going to be commission sheet masters, freaking ninjas. You guys rock. Love you. Bye.